it's not the old persons that are supposed to lead a country. A country is supposed to be led by a mix of the young and the old. A mix. But in most African countries, it's not like that. It is dominated by the very old human beings that have served for too long and have become inefficient. And because of the way that the institutions have been structured, it does not actually take into account and consideration the fact that there should always be a shift of bringing in youths and let the old people go and rest. We have seen a system where the older people are not going to rest. Even when they are supposed to go and rest, there is a trick that they are appointed, and when you are appointed, you can be there forever. You see, it's a trick. It's not supposed to be like that. It's a way to deprive youth of their right to serve their nation. Because somebody could not have already served the nation, has gone on retirement, is supposed to be resting, then those are the type of people that you appoint to come and lead again. We cannot continue to be like this. We cannot continue to live like this. So it's a problematic system in Africa that the youth are really not given their place. The youth are not actually brought in to serve. I usually say it here, I'm probably to say it again, that for example, when you say the Ministry of Youth Affairs is supposed to be headed by a youth, because the Ministry of Women Affairs is headed by a woman. So that ministry, at least that particular ministry alone, would have even reflected the fact that a youth is leading, and a youth that is competent. It is not just any type of a youth that just go and pick. I mean, a youth that is competent, who has at least a track record and can deliver the goods, should reflect at least that ministry. How do you feel that a ministry is called the Ministry of Youth Affairs that is led by an old man? It doesn't speak well.
When it comes
and all the other ministries too are led by old men and women. Then at least that one ministry that could have been given into the hands of the youth, a competent young person who is vibrant, who has much to offer, so that he will feel for the youth, and he will really go down and interact with his peers, because he's a youth. It flows, it's natural. That is why the Minister of Women Empowerment always flows with women, because she is a woman. It's nature, but even that one is not given to the youth. Then what do you want the youth to do? Which means that a government excludes youths, and this is paramount and capital in African countries. You cannot find a Ministry of Youth Affairs, for example, in France, headed by an old man, or in the US or elsewhere. No, it must reflect its name at least.
You know, when the minister is there, if you look, we have so many youth association, we have so many youth parliamentarians, and all of them. They are represented wherever they are. Maybe their leader is a bit older, but youths are the people championing.
No, you should lead. You should lead. Why shouldn't they have at least that one ministry? Why shouldn't they have it?
They are the one controlling the
all ministry. The ministries are there. All the ministries. Why is it that the youth are deprived? No, they are deprived. I'm using the right word. They are deprived, because you better don't call it the Ministry of Youth Affairs. Give it some other name and make it to be in charge of youth. No problem. But don't give something a name and the name does not reflect its leader. It's wrong.
In Cameroon,
that is the reason why they can never appoint a man to be the head of the Ministry of Women Empowerment. It can never happen. Yes, because it has a name. Let it reflect its name.
Everybody in Cameroon.
Put a square peg in a square hole. Now I said that the youth have been deprived. And that's not the only sector. In many other sectors in Africa, youths are deprived and relegated. Whereas you have so many competent and experienced youth that can lead, that can offer something for their nation. But they are always kept at the gallery. At the gallery. They are not kept put in leadership position where they too can express their leadership opportunity and give to their peers what they require. Yes, I'm not against maybe the Ministry of Youth Affairs. No, I'm not against any personality, but we are just talking about a system. How a system should reflect what it's portraying. If you say a Ministry of Youth Affairs, appoint a youth there. If you say the Ministry of Women Affairs, appoint a woman there. If you say the Secretary of State in charge of Islamic Affairs, you cannot go and put a Christian there. You cannot go and put a Christian in that space. No, it must be a Muslim, because it has to do with Islamic affairs.
Anyway, let's leave that part. I believe the minister is a youth, because in Cameroon everybody is a youth. Okay, now
no, we are not talking about the minister. We are talking about the ministry, that it should reflect its name.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's move forward. You said youth should develop 3 key mindset. You started with leadership. Let me look at now. We already know it's no gainsaying that most of these youths are not leading. They are not where they are supposed to be. But what kind of leadership are you talking about now? The mindset in terms of leadership this youth should have.
Yeah, when we talk of leadership, it's a whole package. It's a whole package. And let me say that most people that are leading lack leadership knowledge. I will explain. When you have knowledge in what you are doing, the output of what you are doing, it reflects what you know. When you observe what most leaders are doing in African countries, whether they are ministers, whether they are governors, whether they are what, you realize that what they do does not reflect leadership virtues. It reflects something else. And one of the greatest problems is that most of the leaders have not been trained into leadership virtues, where you know very well that, for example, a leader is a servant. That's the first virtue of a leader. A leader is what? A servant. A leader is there for the interest of the people, not for his own interest. Just check these 2 points. The leader is a servant. The leader is there for the people, not for himself. Take these 2 points and try to evaluate. You realize that most people are already failing just from these 2 points. A leader is a human being of responsible character. Of responsible what? Character. A leader is that human being of an exemplary life, a model, so that just by his life, people copy and people are moved by what or who the person is. That is a leader. Our focus here is not to talk about leadership today, but I'm just trying to touch it that youth have to have the mindset of a leader. A leader is a servant. A leader is that person that puts the people's interest first. A leader is that person that is knowledgeable in the area of leadership that he or she wish to assume. It means that if you wish to assume political leadership, you should know a lot about politics. You must not go to school. You can study it on your own online. There's a lot of write-ups and writings about politics. You can study it. If you want to be an economic leader, you should be able to do a lot of economic research and study on your own. It's not somebody to come and teach you or train you. No. You do a lot of personal development, which has now to do with all this. So, leadership is one of the paramount virtue characteristics that every youth of today needs. Because the leadership mindset makes you to be responsible the way you do things. It makes you to think about the future generation. What I'm doing like this, how is it going to affect the future generation? It means that a leader does not take decision anyhow. He looks at the past, he looks at the present, and he looks at the future of the decision he wishes to take. Yes, that is a leadership mindset. A leader is not corrupt. A leader is not biased. A leader is just, is fair, is faithful, is patient, listens to people, takes time to study issues, and only make a decision at the end when he has analyzed all the outcome of the decision he's about to take. So a leader is not quick in making decisions. He takes his time before he makes decision. That is a leadership mindset. Another very strong characteristic of a leadership mindset is that a leader is somebody of character. I've explained this here so many times that the word character has hundreds of components in that same word. In that word you have integrity, you have truthfulness, you have honesty, and so on. And you should understand that it is a priority to have a leadership mindset. It's a priority. It's not whatsoever book you learn. If you don't have a leadership mindset, you will not make it. You see, that is the reason why when you look very well in the society today, you have a lot of PhD holders, professors, engineers, and so on. But when you look at their character, you doubt if truly these people went to school or they did not go to school. Because a leader is responsible in his behavior. Yes. And one of the signs of leadership responsibility is the fact that you consider others first. You consider the people first. Because you are a leader because of a people. You are a leader because of a system. You are a leader because of something. So that thing has to be considered first. Because it is that thing that made you to become a leader. You cannot be a leader for nothing. You lead something. Yes. So that leadership mindset that makes you as a young man to develop yourself and develop a sense of responsibility. That when you stand in the midst of your peers and they are messing up, you don't mess up. Because you know the consequences of messing up. As a leader, when you are in the midst of people, you take time not to do things anyhow. You take time not to misbehave. I say this especially to young men and women that are aspiring to become great leaders. You must build in your value systems. There are things that you are not involved in. There are things that you cannot do. There are things that even if the whole world is doing it, you say no because of the value system you have put in place. A leader does not cheat. A leader does not commit adultery, fornication, and all these things that are mentioned in the Bible. And you can go on and mention this, so many things. So a leadership mindset, let me summarize it, is a responsible mindset. A mindset that is responsible. It means that you take responsible decisions. You take responsible actions. You speak responsibly. You don't insult people. You don't insult. But you can be firm, strong, hard, or soft. It depends on the style that you wish to use. But you are strong, hard, and soft in the issue that you are, because you want things to go straight. But when it has to do with human beings, a leader builds leaders. A leader builds mentees, people that will take over. Because if after so many years, some human beings claim in some places, including Cameroon, that this is the only man that can lead us, it means that the person did not build mentees. But one of the assignments of a leader is to build mentees so that you hand over and see how your mentees also lead. You don't hand over leadership and go and die. No, you should be there as a consultant, to be as a consultant to your mentees, so that they too are leading, then you are coaching them, so that the trend of good leadership, good governance continues in front of your own eyes before you finally die tomorrow.
Thank you very much. You've mentioned a lot of virtues here: responsible, selfless, and all of that. I wish to ask this. I have a worry. I wish to find out. All of this you've mentioned, are you referring to somebody, a youth in Africa in this present dispensation where we find ourselves, in an era where it's like survivor of the fittest? Can somebody like that emanate from a system like this?
Yes. You know, when we talk about survivor of the fittest, it's because of poor planning, poor preparations. When you don't plan your life, you find yourself into crisis. When you don't prepare for the times and for the future, you find yourself into crisis. So planning and preparation, priorities, are elements in leadership training. A leader should understand planning ahead of time, preparation ahead of time, understand priorities, and develop your priorities early enough or very fast. And one of the priority to be developed very fast is the priority of income. Is the priority of income. It means that you should start earning income very fast and diversify the income earnings in a way that by the time you are struggling to stand up, your friends are lamenting, you are already fine. So when we talk about survival of the fittest, it's because of poor planning, no preparation, living in a vacuum of assumptions. Then when the real time comes for you to handle things, you find yourself in a limbo. You find yourself in a position that you are confused. But young men and women that have these virtues, these values, and develop themselves fast, speed up to have diverse income sources. They'll be laughing. Why? People that are far older than them are crying. Because they prioritized the most important things first. First things first. And the first thing, as I've always said here, is knowledge. And when you gain the knowledge, you understand how the systems function. You use wisdom to build your income sources very fast when you are still very young. Develop them and stand. While your friends are playing around, by the time they are crying, you are already standing. So when you talk about in a way of the survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest is because the youth were not trained to build up early enough. So they find themselves now at a mature stage, still struggling with their far younger brothers. What they were supposed to do about 10 to 20 years ago, that is what they are struggling to do now. And they don't have the energy it takes to do that now. So they find it so difficult. And after that now, they dive into what? Alternatives. And these alternatives are never good alternatives. They are always negative in nature. So people have to plan their life. That's why there are 4 stages in life. You have to walk according to those stages. And by the time they are standing, people don't know where this type of youths are coming from. This is what I'm saying. So when I talk about leadership, these are things that the youths are supposed to know when they are very young. So that when they are growing up, they are building up their lives on this. The values of truth, the values of honesty, the values of integrity, the values of being honest at all times, the values of fearing God, of giving your life to Jesus Christ and serving God. These are values that people need to build and grow with these values. So that no matter what you come to tell them, they don't listen to you. Let me just say something. That do you know that it's very difficult to get married to a Jewish lady when you are not a Jew? It's a value system. Very difficult to get married to an Indian lady if you are not an Indian. It's because this is what their parents have built into them. And when they were growing up, they tell them that you are the best, so don't go elsewhere. The best is here. So the Jewish lady will hardly accept the man who is not a Jew. Because that's what they have got. So when you put these values into the life of young people, when they are growing up, it's within them. But you realize that when you look at the space in which we live, you realize that our leaders have misfired in a way that it's difficult to understand where they are coming from. At times I sit and I ask, where are these human beings coming from? Some of them with professorship in their pockets. But what they do in the nation it baffles everybody. It makes people start questioning this whole name of titles and achievements and qualifications. People are doubting it because there are just too many of them in Africa, in Cameroon, who are of these big titles but frustrating the lives of the youth and the future generations. Where did all this book go to? How did it pass? It passed through which knowledge, which head? And did that book not teach you that you should not cheat, you should not steal, you should not be corrupt?
Without morals. Education without morals.
No. Even normal morality from childhood teaches you that thou shalt not cheat, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not tell lies. This is simple morality from childhood. You don't need to go to a school somewhere to be taught. These are normal things. So with a professorship title in your hand, then you are the greatest embezzler, you are the greatest thief, you are the greatest womanizer. You change girls every day in the hotel. Please, I don't know where this one is coming from. That's why I say that we are baffled. The youth of Cameroon are baffled by what the leaders of Cameroon and Africa are doing. They are not models. They are not people to look up to, because their outcome has baffled this generation. Which type of leaders did we have? Where are they coming from? Who trained them? Who made them up? Who produced them? So the system, the regime that have produced them, have produced bad seeds that are not models, are not examples. And that's why I'm telling you, don't copy the leaders we have. They are not models. Copy what knowledge and trainings say about leadership. A leader is not a crook. A leader is not a manipulator. A leader is not a womanizer. A leader is not an embezzler. Is not a corrupt human being. It's not a fraudulent human being. And so on. There are all these things. I want the youth to follow the virtues of truth, so that they will build a better Cameroon and a better Africa tomorrow, when all these people will not be there again, because they will not be there forever. There is a future Cameroon coming. These people will not be there. You will be the one that will take responsibility. So start building yourself now and preparing for that Cameroon. It's coming. Don't lose hope.
Okay, let's take on this reaction. This one says, hello, hi TV. This is Jay from Bova. I think corruption, tribalism, and nepotism has spoiled our country, Cameroon. It will be difficult for us to have a good leader in this time. I think that we need to format the country for us to have better leaders. Okay. Mr. Musoke, did you get that message? Hello, Mr. Musoke.
Okay. Thank you. Please, could you get? I'll try to read what one other person said.
Okay, let me go back to the message. This one says, I think corruption, tribalism, and nepotism had spoiled the system. It will be difficult for us to have a good leader in this present time. I think Cameroon needs to be formatted for us to have good leaders.
Yeah, I wish to say that it took generations for good systems to be built in place, and it has also taken generations for those good systems to be destroyed, and we find ourselves in the era of the destructive system. I wish to say that it's rather unfortunate that we find ourselves in this generation, but it is fortunate for us to learn so that we can build a better future tomorrow. It takes time for anything good to be produced. You don't rush when you are producing leaders, because it takes time to change the old man and bring in the new man, the old mindset and bring in the new mindset. It's a process. It's not an activity. It's not an event. You understand? It's not an activity is not an event. It takes a lot of time for that to be done. So we are building gradually. We just want the youth to queue and learn leadership, because they will be leaders of tomorrow. Whether this generation likes it or not, the youth will obviously be leaders of tomorrow. Whether this generation likes it or not, the youths are going to lead. But when you also find yourself in that same spirit with the people today, you will also be a bad leader like them. So better you study leadership today, build up your value system, and you're going to make it.
All right, thank you very much. I want us now to move to the next point so that we finish all of them before the close of the program. We are talking about entrepreneurial. What do the youth supposed to know when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Well, I wish to say that, let me say in simple terms what entrepreneurship in this sense mean. Entrepreneurship in this sense simply means that youth should be able to take risk and carry on activities that they must carry on in order to survive. I wish to repeat. Entrepreneurship in this sense, I'm not talking about business entrepreneurship. I'm talking about the mindset that makes you to do what you are supposed to do at the time that you are supposed to do it, and do it well, do it the real way. That's carrying on an activity the way, the time that you are supposed to do it. Don't keep things, don't postpone things. Don't be a procrastinator, somebody who procrastinates all the time. Carry on activity, because you are supposed to be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody who carries out activities and take a lot of risk, because you have a lot of risky activities that have to be carried out in order for the future to be better. You go through some risk in life. So we are talking about that risky mindset, that you are not afraid to take risk as a young person. You are not afraid to carry on activities that are going to better your future. Even when you are supposed to take risk to carry on those activities, you press on. You force things to work. It means that when there are blockages, when there are things that will hinder things not to work, and you know that those things are not supposed to be there, you press on for things to work. Causing things to work is a spirit of courage. It means that this thing might not work, but you know that if it doesn't work, it's going to backfire and it's going to lead to something bad with respect to your life. Now, I'm not talking about unethical things here. I'm talking about ethical things. It means that things that are within norms, but have some resistance not to work. You force them to work. That's the mind of an entrepreneur. You force things to work. You take risks. You go an extra mile to make things work. Because when they work, they bring smiles to the people. This is what I mean by a mind of entrepreneurship. I'm not talking about business entrepreneurship. No. A mind that causes things to work. A mind that takes risk. A mind that presses on. Even when things seem as though they will not work. That's the type of mindset I'm talking here. So you can see it is a mind of courage. This is the type of mindset that Joshua had. Joshua had the entrepreneurial mindset to carry the children of Israel to the promised land. And it was very difficult, very strong, very complicated. But he made up his mind. He says, we are able to take the land. We're able to take it. And he says, those who don't want to serve God, okay, fine. For him and his family, they will serve their God, and so on. And he pressed on to the end. It's not easy. So when we are talking about pressing on here, not that it has not been easy in the days of old. It is not easy today. And it will never be easy to get something good. I repeat, to get something good. Even to get a good wife. To get a good wife is difficult. That's why you have so many girls around, they are not married and the rest. Most of them are not good. Yes, they are not good.
Yes.
To get a good wife is difficult. A good wife is that lady that has also worked hard in life and has pressed on above going through risk and the rest. Then a man too that has worked hard to meet this type of a lady is difficult. That we're talking about meeting a good wife. But there are women everywhere, scattered, lazy people around, and the rest. Those are not wives.
Talk like that to women.
Those are human beings that don't know what they are doing in life. But nevertheless, I'm saying that to get a good wife is difficult, because to become a good wife is not bread and butter. It's not bread and butter. So there's nothing good that comes what? Easy. Nothing good, not even a good wife, comes easy. I'm not talking about women that have painted their lips and the rest and wear cap and rings and the rest and turning around with painted long nails. That's not what I call a good wife. Those are things that I can give to such person, but that's not what we are talking here today. We'll come back to that some other day. So nothing good comes easy. You need an entrepreneurial mindset to break through even the walls of a rock to go and get something the other way. That's the type of mindset I'm talking here. Youth needs to develop it. But from the positive sense, I repeat, positive sense, not negative. Please, it's not a negative mindset. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Still on that, I wish to say they should take risks. They should the spirit of unity, because one person might have that entrepreneurial mindset, like you've mentioned, to venture, to push through, to press on. But now he or she needs the support of the other youth. But that is what is lacking, especially in our society.
Yes, actually, as I said, it's a process. It's what? A process. And the only means that you need is to make up your mind. Listen very well. The only means you need is what? Making up your mind. Many youths have not made up their mind to come out of poverty. That's why they are still poor. Many youths have not made up their mind to succeed. That's why they are failures. Many youths have not made up their mind to become leaders. That's why they are not leaders. Many youths have not made up their mind to be business persons. That's why they are not business persons. When you don't make up your mind to become something, you will never become it. Nobody will come from space and give you. You make up your mind, you engage on the pathway to that and follow the process and the procedures, and you are going to become. So it's a matter of what? Becoming. And becoming here is a process. There are procedures that you have to follow. There are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. You have to burn the candles. You have to burn the candles, burn the candles, burn the candles. I repeat, you have to burn the candles. You don't burn the candles, leave it. Go and join those fake people and continue to do your fake things. But when you want to do the right thing, you follow the pathway, you make up your mind, you follow the procedures, the processes, and it may take time, but you will eventually arrive.
All right, this message is a bit long, but I will take it. It says, greetings to you in the studio. If there is one thing I know about our country, Cameroon, is that it's full of intellectuals. Cameroonians are people who love to go to school, and they have been doing so and are still doing so. So there is no Cameroonian who is not knowledgeable enough. With all what you're saying, they already have it. The problem we have in Cameroon is the implementation of what has been taught in school. Taking risks is a normal thing, but can you take it in Cameroon? Wilbur took it. Where is he? Martinez Zogo, where is he? So it's easier said than done. If you understand this country, you just ended there.
I will answer that young man or the person who have written it down. There's what we call foolish risk, and there's what we call wise risk. I explained that the virtue of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And what? Wisdom. You are calling names of people who took risk, but evaluate and check if they were wise the way they took those risks. You realize that they were not. It was a risk. It was good. It was for a cause. but were they wise? The method they used. You may have a good idea, but you use the wrong method to pass it out. And so on. Let me tell you, we don't have many intellectuals in Cameroon. We don't. An intellectual is a human being who uses his knowledge to solve problems and to bring solutions. If you cannot use the knowledge you have to solve problems and to bring solutions, the knowledge you have is not knowledge. There are many people who have gone to school in Cameroon. I want you to say that. There are many people who have gone to school in Cameroon, but there are few intellectuals. There is a difference between going to school and being an intellectual. An intellectual does not necessarily mean that you have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, but they are intellectuals. I hope this should be clear, because we have been brainwashed. We think that it's when you go to school that you are an intellectual. No, an intellectual is somebody who uses his knowledge and the understanding of nature and life, then wisely applies his knowledge to bring solutions and to solve problems. That is an intellectual. So if you are a professor and you are not doing this, you are not an intellectual. Please, I want people to have this at the back of their mind. We have many people who have gone to school, have many qualifications, have many papers, have many degrees, have big titles, but they are not intellectuals. They are not. An intellectual is somebody that uses his knowledge, understanding the systems or the times in which we live, wisely applies his knowledge and brings solutions to the people, solving problems. That is an intellectual. But we have so many people who have gone to school. Unfortunately, they are not intellectuals, because intellectualism is proven by the outcome of the knowledge you have. It's not by the number of books you have read. It's not by teaching students in class. No. An intellectualism is proven in the field. It's proven in the field. That's why you see Russia is the highest producer of engineers in the world. Russia, followed by India. Then the US is third. Russia understood that the solution to their economy is engineers. So they are producing the best and the highest number of engineers every year. And those engineers, if they cannot solve problems and they cannot bring solutions, they are not intellectuals. So when you go to school and you have all the degrees in the world and you pile them up and you call yourself an intellectual, you are a liar. Intellectualism is proven in the field by bringing solutions, by solving problems and bringing solutions to humanity and bringing solutions to communities. That is an intellectual. That's why you have intellectuals who have first school living certificates. But what they have done to their society, you cannot compare them with anybody who has a professorial rank. Professorial rank is not intellectualism. Doctorate is not intellectualism. Masters is not intellectualism. So Cameroon has many people who have gone to school, but we have very few intellectuals that are making things to happen in our community. I want this point very clear. So the young man who wrote to us, please take this and it will help you. So that when you want to judge people or you want to evaluate people, evaluate them by the outcome, evaluate them by the output, evaluate them by the problems they have solved, the solutions they have brought to society. That is what tells people that you are an intellectual. It's not by telling people that you have degrees. Degrees don't solve problems. Let that point be made very clear. And that is the deception that we have had. But I think that many will be delivered today by what I'm saying here. So we have very few intellectuals. You have many intellectuals in some of these developed countries. That's why they have developed. Because these are people that are putting their knowledge into use, into work. And nobody is going to give you the avenue to put your knowledge into use. No. Nobody has that time. It's you have to walk out your way and put your knowledge into use. And let it bring solutions to people. then you'll be counted as an intellectual. Yes. Gone are those days where theoretical human beings are counted as intellectuals. No, gone are those days. The world needs solutions. The world has problems. So your intellectualism is proven in the field. It's not proven in the four walls of a classroom. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I believe that question has been answered. If you are just tuning in, the program you are watching is Excellence Impact on Higher Television, and our topic is putting youth into contextual perspective. And I believe that that is exactly what is being done today on set. If you are watching, you can be part of the program. Some people are already sending messages. You can also send your own message and clear any doubts that you have. Okay, I would like us to move now to the next point, which is professional. What should youth know about professionalism?
But thank God you are professional. You study a professional program. Now, when we talk about being professional, the way you do things in life is doing things following the rules and regulations, doing things following the standards in place. You have general professionalism. It means that you should be able to do things the way things are supposed to be done, following the rules, the regulations, the laws in force. Then you also have professionalism, which has to do with professions. And each of these professions has its rules and regulations and its ethics of functionality, which you have to respect. For example, medical doctors, a good number of them are violating the oath they took, are violating the charge they took to save lives. Now they are serving the money. They look for money first before the lives of human beings. They are violating the ethics of their profession. The ethics of the medical profession does not require a medical doctor to put money first before the lives of human beings. It requires medical doctors to put the life of human beings first, then money follows. But they have reversed it. Today is money first. That is not what they were trained. And there are many ethics that govern their profession. A good number of them are violating everything today because they want money. So when we talk about professionalism, it's respecting the ethics, the rules, the morals, the laws that govern your profession. That's one of it. Then you have general professionalism that has to do with doing things the right way, the right time, and the way they are supposed to be done. With respect to lay down principles, lay down norms, lay down regulations and laws. It means that you don't do things out of the laws, rules, regulations, ethics in place. Let me give a clear-cut example. You don't help a young lady that has a problem by asking her that you wish to sleep with her. That's unethical for a general sense. If you don't want to help a young lady, go away. Nobody will force you to help her. Go away. But don't use money and exchange it for pleasure, because it will not be the desire of that young lady. She will be bent probably to succumb because she has a need. It's not coming from her heart of hearts. So that is acting unethically, unprofessionally. You don't recruit a staff by first of all asking her out. Then, as many people do, and many reports have been published, how you ask a girl before you recruit her, before you employ her. And when you employ her now, she becomes your permanent girlfriend and things like that. You don't ask your secretary out. Please, I'm saying things that are real. When you are working somewhere and your boss tries things like this, report him. Record these things, record them, and take legal action against him. He is not supposed to intimidate you. It's your right to work. Your work is not supposed to be tied to any condition. There are rules governing work in Cameroon. The labor code is there. The labor code. You're supposed to go out of the labor code. Sleeping with a girl is not a requirement in the labor code. So you should not bring it up. It's unethical. It's immoral. And there are many of these things. So when I talk about professionalism, it means that we should respect the rules and regulations governing the space in which we find ourselves and do things the right way. Even if everybody is doing the wrong thing, don't follow them. Do the right one. Become unpopular because you have done the right thing, than to become popular for doing the wrong thing. These are norms. So I just want you to learn this, that you should act professionally, you should act ethically, you should respect moral norms and standards, you should respect the laws, the rules and regulations in force, and stay within the boundaries, the limits of the laws. Let me come to what this person says about people haven't taken bold step, but they are nowhere to be found.
Okay.
The bold step, if you check well, the bold step they took, they did not use wisdom. They did not act professionally. They did not act ethically. Because for every problem, there are methods, procedures to be used, and channels of communication that you have to use. You don't raise an issue which could have been presented otherwise. You raise it in a way that it creates euphoria. Take note, you can pass out a message, the same message, but in a different way, and you have still passed out your message. Because let me tell you something, youth, no government in the world, including the United States, including China, no government in the world likes a threat, likes people that can threaten their existence, like people that will bring things that will threaten their non-existence or their existence. No government on earth. That's why governments fight against human beings who use unethical methods, unorthodox methods, and use unorthodox practices in order to channel their complaints. It means that you can channel your complaint in a better way that is not going to create other problems. Let me come now to one simple thing which we could do and we should do as youths. Do you know that all the youths of Cameroon have the right to go to the pool, that is a legal means, and vote the new president that they want? If they stay at home and they don't go to the pool to vote the new president that they want, they cannot blame some other person, especially these 2025 elections. It will not be rigged. Mark this word, it will not be rigged. If people don't go and vote and they vote for the old regime again, the old regime will continue. Not that they are rigged, but because people did not go out and mass to vote against it. This election of 2025 will not be rigged. So people should not be saying that they will rig it, they will rig it. No, go and vote. Go and vote. If you register, go and vote. Go and cast your vote.
I'm
it
happy
will not be
this is
rigged.
coming from you.
It will not be rigged. Because all the mechanism to counter rigging has been put in place.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Mark this word that I'm saying. That if people go out and vote and the opposition behaves well and get a consensus, people will vote that consensus and will win. and you will see for the first time the opposition carries the day in Cameroon. You will see it. Journalists will report it that another political party has carried the day in Cameroon. It can happen because the days have passed where rigging is possible. It will be, they'll try to rig, but will not work this time around.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm happy. This is not a political program, but I'm very happy this is coming from Mr. Musoke, because I remember I think 2 times on this set he has said that there is no need for people to vote. But
Things have been put in
since
place.
he is saying that things have been put in place,
Yes.
it's important for all the youth to go out there and vote. If you have not collected your voter's card, it's ending soon. If you don't collect it, I think it's this August, you'll not be able to get it again. So just go get your voter's card. And that person who wrote again, who sent that message about taking risks, has come back to say, what kind of risks are you asking us to take? Do you think that if we write a proposal or project in FRIES and sent through the right channel, actions will be taken with regards to that? We have done that and it has failed. I believe the right risks to take is to go out and yes, just the right risk. Okay, we don't
Okay.
forget the.
You see, I still wish to say this again, that in 2025, let all the youths go and vote. Choose your political party, but choose wisely. If you don't want the regime in place again, vote for the opposition. I am not saying that you should vote against the regime, because some of you may still be part of the regime. So choose what you want.
It's a matter of choice.
Yes, it's a matter of choice. Choose what you want. But what I'm saying is that if you want a new regime, go out and vote for that new regime. If you don't want a new regime, sit in your house, fold your arms, go on social media and make noise. That noise will not change anything. So the ballot boxes will be there on the 12th of October. Go and cast your vote for the choice you have made. But let me tell you that this election will not be rigged. Yes. Because everything has been put in place to counter rigging. Yes. The results will be known before time. But what I'm saying is that because of the information and communication technology tools that we have today, every data will be gathered before time, and the true result will be known. But what I'm saying is that go and cast your vote. Go and vote, so that at the end you will say that you contributed to the change in this country. We need a change. We need a new regime. Or if the old regime could present a new candidate, take note that the old regime still has a chance to present a new candidate.
You are changing this program.
No, I'm just trying to give a teaser to the people. They should know that by law, there is still a provision by law that can permit the regime in place to give another candidate. You know why? They can say that the candidate they have given is no longer capable. They have that window by law.
They have the right, yeah.
Yes, and they can change it. Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that it's not late. We can still have another candidate in the old regime. And I think that was something in the heart of so many Cameroonians. But nevertheless, make your choice and vote the party that you like, the party that you want. Don't insult anybody. Just go to the pool and cast your vote. Feel free. Nobody will come and check what or where you have voted or whatsoever you have voted. So I encourage all Cameroonians to carry out their civic responsibility, civic duty on that day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think they are going to pick their colors latest today, and it's important for you to know the color that you are supposed to go. They don't go and get confused, okay? But from now, start practicing or start putting it in your head or cramming it, something like that. If your parents teach them, so that the change that all of us are looking for, are crying for, will obviously come if all of us take the bold step by going out and vote, not going out for violence. All right, still going back to our topic, I wish us to look. We are talking about professionalism, and you've talked about professionalism in two ways: that doing things professionally, and also make sure that whatever you are doing, if it's a particular profession, you follow the ethics of that profession. Now, generally, I want to look at some of our youths, since we are talking about youths, the way they behave in the society. Drugs, they are into drugs. That is what is even trending now. Prostitution. And so they are wayward. And you will see parents, you will see some people, they will stand and they will address that these ones are, there's this word they use in pidgin, that they have been forgotten. I've forgotten that way they say that they now lose one, they don't forget them or something like that. It's off my head. But now with this group of youths that I've mentioned, now any hope for them? Is there a way that they can turn the hands of them or can change?
Yes, actually, when we are giving teachings like this on board, it's for the youth to look for the alternative. And the alternative is to take the positive side of life. You see, life is full of negativity. Life is full of corruption, promiscuity, tribalism, nepotism, bias, injustice, and so on. You can go on naming. But these are not the things that build. A nation is built by positive actions. A nation is built by bringing in solutions to existing problems. A nation is built by destroying the old ways and bringing in a new way that is positive, that makes progress. So the youth of today should understand that the previous ways have not worked. So we should go into the new way. And which is a new way? One of the ways is that we need to develop a leadership mindset. We need to develop the mindset of entrepreneurship, taking initiatives, carrying on initiatives ourselves. We need to develop a mindset of professionalism. Act professionally. Act in a way that people admire what you are doing. And don't be put under pressure for anything wrong. Make up your mind not to do the wrong things in life. Make up your mind to always do the right thing, even though at times it may be painful, difficult to do the right thing. Choose the right thing. Don't choose the wrong thing. Young girls, I encourage you, don't sell your body. Don't sell your body. Your body is so precious. Work hard so that you will get married to your real husband tomorrow. Don't sell your body to scammers, liars, and the rest. You may ask me back that it's not easy. You think that we are doing it like this because we like it, as many have asked me in the past. You don't like it, so don't do it. Look for a better way out. If some of you need more counsel and the rest, you can get to me. We'll talk one-on-one. I'll counsel you and talk with you the way out, and you will succeed. It may take you some small time, but you will make it. So what I'm trying to say is that there is hope. And the hope is that this new generation should change their ways. They should not go by the ways of their fathers and mothers that have built an uncomfortable community in Africa. And they are making Africans to run away from their continent. It's because of the bad environment that the African leaders have built over the years. It has made their own citizens to run away from their own country, claiming to go for greener pastures elsewhere. Why should Africa not be the green pasture with all what Africa has? Why should we be looking for greener pasture elsewhere? Whereas the greenest pasture in the world is Africa. Africa is the greenest pasture in the world. So her citizens should not be running to other continents and going to serve there as slaves and prostitutes. Please. That's why the youth of today must change. The youth of today must develop a new mindset. The mindset of leadership, entrepreneurship, and professionalism. Then, above all, the mindset of godliness. The mindset of godliness. Fear God. Live according to the principles of the Bible, the principles of God. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy strength, with all thy might. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You should love your neighbor like yourself. That is a commandment of God. If everybody loved their neighbor like themselves, we will not have corrupt leaders. Because they know that when they embezzle, they don't love their neighbor. But when you love your neighbor, you will not embezzle, because you know that what is there is for the community, it's for everybody. So if we follow the commandment of God, we will build a better world. First of all, we should love the Lord our God with all our hearts. Then we should love our neighbor as ourselves. Those are the two summaries of the commandments. Just look at the world where everybody loves his neighbor as himself. What an ideal world is written in the Bible. But we are living in a world that is so crooked and wicked, so unclean, so satanic, so demonic, so unfaithful, so corrupt. That's the type of world in which we live. You can jump that type of world and enter the world where you love the Lord thy God with all your heart, and so on. Then you love your neighbor as yourself. Your neighbor is talking about every other person. You love them like the way you love yourself. You cannot cheat yourself. You cannot steal from yourself. So you should not steal from your neighbor.
Okay, there's an interesting message here for you. Let me read it. It says, I'm a keen follower of this program. That is why I believe some weeks back, Sir told us not to hope for this present presidential election. We should wait, create our own party, and in 10 years' time, we are going to rule in our own way. But now he is saying that the election will not be rigged. Can he please clear the air? The message is not that clear, but I believe we understand what he's saying.
Let me clear the air. It's very simple. The 10 or the 7 years that I was talking about the youths preparing to take over as youths. They prepare themselves as youths to take over in the 7 years. Because now like this, they are not ready for that as youths. They have not prepared their own party to take over in the next 7 years. But at least they can support any of the parties that is around, especially the parties that they think that will bring change. So, but as it stands now, the opposition, as you see it, is moving towards a consensual candidate. And they have put measures in place already, and they are still putting reinforced measures to make sure that this election will not be rigged. So, before this election will take place, you realize that it will be very clear that the rigging machinery will not work this time around. That is the reason why I'm saying that youth should go out and vote. But this does not stop the youth from preparing their own party for 2032. It does not stop the youth. They can start by preparing, getting their own party, and even go in for elections in 2026 and at least win some councils, so that they will be qualified to stand for presidential election that will be coming up. So that is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that go in for election, go and vote. Opposition has put measures in place to counter rigging machineries. So there is some hope that you can vote for a consensual candidate, and this consensual candidate wins this and carries the day. That possibility is there. But it does not cancel the fact that the youth should prepare for their own candidate for 2032 as the youth that wish to take over. That does not, this one does not cancel your vision for 2032 to take over the country. So even if those who win this time around are opposition, you should still plan for 2032 to take over from that opposition that will take over this year. So it does not cancel the vision of the youth. The youth should still hold their vision and work with it, so that by 2032, whosoever wins this election, the youth will be ready to overcome such a person and such a regime. That is what I can clarify you. So it does not cancel your vision for 2032.
Thank you very much for those who are contributing. I say thank you, and especially the last person, the last viewer. It shows that you are actually following the program, because I remember last time that's what Mr. Musoke said on air, and he has on set, and he has cleared the air. If you still have any doubt, you have a little more time to send us some SMS. Mr. Musoke, we are rounding up. And it has really been a good one, I must say, because many youth who are watching from home, you are learning, and also not just learning, make sure you put everything into practice, because there's no way you watch Excellence Impact and then you go back the same. You must be impacted with one or two things. So I will give you this opportunity now, and also to those of you who are watching who still want to send in your contributions, and also tell us what are we taking home today.
Okay. I wish to tell the youths that the world in which we live has changed. The systems that were in place have all collapsed, and we have new systems in place. And the systems that we have in place today are moving so fast that within a few years from now, most of the systems we have in place will become obsolete. So I want to let the youth know that one of the characteristics of a leader is that a leader is innovative. A leader comes up with innovations all the time. A leader is creative. So I want the youth to develop a leadership mindset that will help them to create new things. An entrepreneurial mindset that will help them to carry on activities on their own. A professional mindset that will make them to do things the right way, the right time, and not copy the wrong things, but prepare a new Cameroon, a new Africa for a better future. The past has not been good. From independence till date, Africa has not had it easy. It has not been good for African youths. So African youths should prepare a better Africa for tomorrow. And the only way to prepare a better Africa for tomorrow is that youth should get involved into politics. You should get involved into economic activities. You should get involved into educational and professional knowledge. You should get involved into becoming experts in the telecom sectors, experts in the fields of leisure and all the other domains in life. African youth should prepare themselves. And African youth should be able to work together and form a synergy that is going to take over all the African systems. And let the youth bring in their innovative ideas and build a new Africa. Our parents have failed Africans, and especially African youths. Our parents, from independence till date, have failed the African youth. The African youth are scattered all over the world, whereas they have a continent that is the greenest pasture in the world. But the continent has not been developed because of bad leadership, bad governance. So let the youth plan and prepare their way to come up with new governance structures that will take over the African system so that they can build a better Africa for their children and grandchildren tomorrow. It's not yet lost. There is hope. Even after 70 years, the youth can stand today and say, we want a new Africa. We want to build a new Africa. They should not take it by force. They should take it using the normal, established channels. It's possible for the youth to take over. And let them prepare themselves. Let them have a plan of action to take over the African systems and lead it according to the ways that is going to help the future generation. Africa seems not to have helped the African youth. It has helped instead the colonialists, the imperialists have benefited from Africa rather than the children of Africa. And that must stop, that must end. And how can it stop? If a new generation of African youth come up and take over the African space and build a new Africa for a better future generation of Africans. Become a strong leader by building up a good leadership mindset. Become a great entrepreneurial thinker that take a lot of risk to build things and to make things happen. Then above all, act professionally. Act in a way that it does not violate the laws. does not violate the rules and regulations of your environment, but you are passing out your message. That is the way you should act. Then above all, fear God. Have a godly mindset. Love God. Love your neighbor as yourself. It shall be better, because there is hope for a better Africa and for a better future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Musoke, for today. At least you have given us knowledge again for free. And I will just end by saying this common phenomenon now in our society. Like you said, that youth should not violate the norms of the land. They should act professionally and responsibly, and not going to be breaking into people's cars during funerals. People who have parked their cars during funerals and be stealing their stuff, or people are in church or attending wedding ceremonies, because that's what is happening now. You park your car, you come back, they have break the glass and taking any whatsoever they want to take in. That is not being responsible, and we know that most of these activities are being carried out by the youth. Listen, they say a word to a wise is sufficient. Listen to all what Mr. Musoke have said here today. Put them into practice to become a responsible youth. Maybe you start planning for 2032 now, and it's going to be great. So thank you very much for coming to the program. I also wish to use this opportunity to thank all those who contributed, all those who are watching us from home. We say thank you. The rebroadcast of this program comes up at 10:30. Join us again next week for another edition, and stay tuned to High Television.